Hello and welcome. My name is Josh and this is Josh C Boxing. Hope you guys are all well. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Now I'm going to do a massive call out right now. If you haven't liked, if you haven't shared, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so now. It's super appreciated. We're a growing channel. So the more people that like, share and subscribe, it's so appreciative. So appreciative if you do so. Let's get into the boxing. Now, apparently, AJ and Bakole have signed to face each other this summer in Congo, in Africa. Spencer Oliver was on Talk Sport this weekend and he spoke to both Martin Bakole and he spoke to his promoter as well, Ben Shalom. And when Bakole was speaking to Spencer, he did say that he can't wait, like he knew something was going to happen. He knew something was on the horizon. And he also said as well, my fight against him, AJ, in Africa is a big fight. Now, I don't know who's going to say a quote like that and make a statement like that if the fight has not been signed. Spencer then later on spoke to Ben Shalom and he said, it's done. I'm hearing he, as in AJ, signed and we're off to the Congo. So ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we're off to Africa. It looks like we're off to the Congo to see AJ against Martin Bakole. Now, it hasn't been made official. As far as I know, up until this stage, as I'm speaking to you right now, it's not been released on Ria Season, or it hasn't been released via the Ring magazine as an official fight. But that's not surprising, right? There's plenty of fighters and plenty of fights that have been made, I would assume, that haven't been made official until a certain agreed date. And to be honest with you, the way Ria Season are moving, there's loads of fighters probably who have signed agreements, but they're not saying anything publicly until an agreed date in that sense. So let's wait and see, but I wouldn't be surprised if it has been signed. It's funny though, because Ben Shalom sounded super excited about it, and maybe that's the reason why he released it as well, because let's be honest, Martin Bakole, his man in the heavyweight division, is facing the big cash king, or one of the big cash kings anyway, in the heavyweight division, in Anthony Joshua. Now, some of you might say, oh, well, Anthony Joshua's on a decline. I agree. I think he's on a decline. But just because someone's on a decline doesn't mean they're not a cash king. And it looks like, and let's be honest, it's AJ after all, and he is a cash king of the division. So I can understand the excitement from Ben Shalom. So let's talk about the event itself. The event's going to take place in Africa. Central Africa, in Congo, if that's the case. And I'm excited, to be honest with you. It's time that a big fight came to Africa. As I've always said in all my videos, I always say this when I talk about Africa. We have had fights in Europe. We've had plenty of fights in America. We've had fights in Asia, in the Middle East now, in Australia, and that kind of region. We need a big fight in Africa. We need to put Africa on the map, and this is the fight to do so. You can't get any bigger than this. For those who don't know, the last big fight that happened in Africa was in 2001. This is when Lennox Lewis faced Hasim Rahman. And it was an upset because Lennox Lewis lost in the 5th round and got knocked out in the 5th round. And then prior to that, another big fight that happened, again, I'm sure we all know because it transcended the whole of sports, was Muhammad Ali against Foreman in 1974, guys. And that was in what was called Zaire then, and which is now Congo. Exactly the place where AJ and Bakole are going to fight. So it can't be any more significant in that sense. We need that fight in Africa. I'm happy apparently it's going to be in Africa. I can't wait to see it. I'm sure you can see on my face, I am super excited by the prospect of it. So that's the event. Let's talk about the fighters. Let's go into the X and O's. Let's think about what's going to happen in that fight, or what my thoughts are in terms of that fight. Now, apparently it's going to be signed for the summer, right? I think this boils down to two things. I think it boils down to styles, and I think it also boils down to psychology. Let's talk about styles first of all. I think the style of Bakole is, at this stage, all wrong for AJ. Bakole is that kind of fighter that will systematically break you down. Now, we saw that against Anderson. We saw that against Carlos Takam. He breaks you down bit by bit, bit by bit. And I think at this stage where AJ is in his career, this is not the kind of fight that AJ kind of needs right now. I think he needs a couple of tune-up fights, or he needs a tune-up fight at least. Not someone like Martin Bakole and his style. I think it's just going to be all wrong for him in that sense. Let's move on to psychology. And now this is going to be super interesting. Bakole's coming off a couple of wins, right? So his confidence is here. And the prospect of facing AJ, the cash cow, he's going to be up for it, right? There's no doubt about it. It's his biggest fight he's possibly ever going to have, right? From a financial perspective and possibly from a fight perspective. So his confidence is up here. However, AJ at the same time, he's coming off a loss against Dubois. Now, I keep going back to this Dubois loss. The reason why is because if you look at the context in which it sits in, right? AJ was facing Dubois, 97% of the population thought he was going to win. He was fighting at Wembley Stadium, 98,000 people. This is for him to become 3-time heavyweight champion. On top of that, it was kind of positioned as if he's like the heir apparent. He was the man to now become 3-time heavyweight champion. Everything that you could talk about in that sense was placed on AJ. Everyone thought he was going to win. Now, to lose in catastrophic fashion, I'm using the word catastrophic because the way he lost, no one thought he was going to lose like that. The way he lost in catastrophic fashion is definitely going to have an effect on him. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. So I think at this stage for AJ, it's just not the right fight for him. I know it's in Africa. I know he's going to say he's going to be up for it, but I just don't think it's the right fight at the moment. Now, some people will say to me, well, the reason why AJ is going to perform better because he's not going to have that pressure on his shoulders anymore. He could just go out there and just kind of just be himself, if you see what I mean. He was able to be himself in Saudi, apparently. That's what some people are saying. And that's the argument. You know, you look at him against Otto Wallin, you look at him against Ngannou. He didn't have that pressure. He was just able to be himself. I get it. I totally do get it. And maybe there is a little bit in that in terms of not having that pressure. But we're talking about Martin Bakole, who from a psychology perspective is up here. When I say, no, not psychology, but psychological perspective is up here. And then you've got AJ, who's lost in the way he lost to Dubois. It's going to affect him mentally, right? So I think at this stage, if I'm honest with you, if I was in AJ's team, that's hilarious. If I was in AJ's team, I'm not going to be on AJ's team, but in that sense, I don't think they're calling me up anytime soon. But if I was on his team, I would definitely say take a warm-up fight. Go to the O2 Arena, face someone like a Dillian Whyte. Or whether it be in Saudi, go and face someone like a Deontay Wilder. Just something to bring up your confidence. Something to make you more confident mentally before you go in with Bakole, because Bakole's no joke, if you see what I mean. The way he fights is no joke. If you haven't seen him, watch him. He's no joke. So that's what I think. But anyway, that's enough about me. I want to hear your thoughts. What do you guys think about it? About the fight, first of all. Are you happy it's being made? Or maybe do you have any reservations about it? What do you think about the fight if it was to happen? What's your prediction? What's your thoughts, your initial thoughts on it? Do you think it's the right fight for AJ at the moment? Or do you think he should look elsewhere, maybe fight someone else before he faces someone like Bakole? Or do you think he should just go in with it and just face him? Let me also know your thoughts about the fight being in Africa. What's your thoughts? Are you excited as I am? Or do you have other thoughts on it? But as I said before, guys, please like, share and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And until next time, guys, peace.